Hello everyone, I'm Vincent from Musundu Free English. Thanks for clicking, and welcome to this lesson on pronouns. Pronouns take the place of nouns in a sentence. They are used so that nouns are not repeated. Types of pronouns. 1. Personal pronouns. 2. Possessive pronouns. 3. Reflexive pronouns. 4. Relative pronouns. 5. Indefinite pronouns. 6. Demonstrative pronouns. 7. Interrogative pronouns. A. Personal pronouns. Personal pronouns are I, you, he, she, it, we, and they. Personal pronouns change forms depending on their role in a sentence. The subjective case means the pronoun is used as the subject of a sentence or a clause. Subject pronouns are often, but not always, found at the beginning of a sentence. The subjective pronouns are I, he, she, you, it, we, and they. Examples: she's going to send the fax now. I am 30. You seem lost. Bidik is angry, and he wants Lally to apologize. This table is old, it needs to be repainted. We aren't coming. They don't like pancakes. Objective case. Objective case means a pronoun usually is the object of the verb or preposition in a sentence. Object pronouns come after verbs and prepositions, to, with, for, at, on, beside, under, around, etc. By contrast, objects and object pronouns indicate the recipient of an action of motion. Objective pronouns are me, him, her, us, and them. Examples: the metal chair gave him an electric shock. Let us finalize the contract. John took a phone message for her. Tell them to hurry up. NB. When there's a linking verb, such as is, are, was, and were, in a sentence, the pronoun that follows must be in the subjective, not objective case. Incorrect speaking, this is her. Correct speaking, this is she. B. Possessive pronouns, show ownership. Possessive pronouns, mine, yours, ours, theirs, his, hers, its, are truly pronouns because they refer to a previously named or understood noun. They stand alone, not followed by any other noun. Examples: this bag is mine. Yours is not blue. The bag looks like his. Those shoes are not hers. The car is ours. Theirs is packed in the garage. Possessive adjective, determiner, is not a pronoun. Possessive adjectives include the following: my, our, their, his, her, and its. They are technically adjectives because they modify a noun that follows them. Examples: Jules' brother is married to Jerry's sister. Her brother is married to his sister. Young and his sister. Rachel and her father. Do you know where your pens are? Is this their picnic? No, it's ours. I think this is your card. Yes, it's mine. C. Reflexive and intensive pronouns. They are, singular, myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself. Plural, ourselves, yourselves, themselves. They're the same set of words but they have different functions in a sentence. Reflexive pronouns refer back to the subject of clause because the subject of the action is also the direct or indirect object. Only certain types of verbs can be reflexive. You cannot remove reflexive pronoun from a sentence because the remaining sentence would be grammatically incorrect. Examples: I told myself to calm down. You cut yourself on this wall. He hurt himself on the balcony. She found herself in a dangerous part of town. The dog threw itself under my car. We blame ourselves for the fire. The children can take care of themselves. I am teaching myself to play the violin. Be careful with that glass. You might cut yourself. Would you like to pour yourself a drink? We brought ourselves something to drink. They had to cook for themselves. He was feeling very sorry for himself. We can use reflexive pronouns as direct object with most transitive verbs, but these are the most common. Amuse, cut, dry, enjoy, help, hurt, introduce, kill, prepare, satisfy, teach. Would you like to take another drink? Equals would you like to help yourself to another drink? I wish the children would behave themselves. Equals I wish the children would behave well. He found himself lying by the side of the road. Equals he was surprised when he realized that he was at the side of the road. I saw myself as a famous actor. Equals I imagined that I was a famous actor. She applied herself to the job of mending lights. Equals she worked very hard to mend the lights. He busied himself in the kitchen. Equals he worked busily in the kitchen. I had to content myself with a few euros. Equals I had to be satisfied with a few euros. We do not use reflexive pronoun after verbs which describe things people usually do for themselves such as wash, shave, dress. He washed himself in cold water. He always shave himself before going out in the evening. Michael dressed himself and got ready for the party. We only use reflexives with these verbs for emphasis. He dressed himself in spite of his injuries. She's old enough to wash herself. Warning, but we use personal pronouns not reflexives, after prepositions of place. Example, he had a suitcase beside him. And after with when it means accompanied by. Example, she had a few friends with her. We use reflexive pronoun, one, with the preposition by, when we want to show that someone did something alone and or without any help. Examples, he lived by himself in an enormous house. She walked home by herself. The children got dressed by themselves. I prepared the whole meal by myself. 2. To emphasize the person or thing we're referring to. Examples, Siaya itself is quite a small town especially if we're talking about someone very famous. Michael himself sang the final song. We often put the reflexive pronoun at the end of the clause when we're using it for emphasis. Examples, I baked the bread myself. She mended the car herself. Intensive pronouns emphasize the subject of a clause. They are not the object of the action. Intensive pronouns can always be removed from a sentence without changing the meaning significantly, although the emphasis on the object will be removed. Intensive pronouns can be placed immediately after the subject of the clause, or at the end of the clause. Examples, I made these biscuits myself. You yourself asked John to come. The president himself pardoned Mr. Brown. My teacher didn't know the answer herself. The test itself wasn't scary, but my teacher certainly is. We would like to finish building before Christmas ourselves. They themselves told me the lost shoes wasn't a problem. D. Relative pronouns. Relative pronouns are which, that and who, whom, objective case. That and which, can only refer to things. Who and whom, can only refer to people. Who, is used as the subject of the sentence or a clause. Whom is always an object of a verb or a prepositional phrase. Examples, he doesn't know whom to assign to the project, whom is the object of the verb to assign. Who will be assigned to the project has not been decided, who is the subject of the verb will be assigned. The manager gave 3 boxes to the mailman whom entered the office. E. Indefinite pronouns. They function as nouns, but they don't replace a noun. Indefinite pronouns include everybody and some. Example, everybody admires the company's president. These pronouns do not point to any particular nouns, but refer to thing or people in general. E.g., one, someone, anyone, no one, everyone, each, somebody, anybody, nobody, everybody, either, neither, something, anything, nothing, everything. Examples, somebody is coming to dinner. Neither of us believes a word Andrew says. Both are expected at the airport at the same time. Several have suggested canceling the meeting. Some of the dirt has become a permanent part of the rug. Some of the trees have been weakened by the storm. Indefinite pronouns use apostrophes to indicate possessive case. Examples, the accident is nobody's fault. How will the roadwork affect one's daily commute? Some indefinite pronouns may also be used as determiners. e.g., one, each, either, some, any, one, all, both, few, several, many, most. Note the difference. Each person has a chance, each is a determiner describing a person. Each has a chance, each is an indefinite pronoun replacing a noun. Both lawyers pled their cases well, both is a determiner describing lawyers. Both were in the room, both is an indefinite pronoun replacing a noun. F. Demonstrative pronouns. They identify or point to nouns. They include this, that and such. We use this, singular, and these, plural, as pronouns. 1. To talk about people or things near us. Examples: this is a nice cup of tea. Whose shoes are these? 2. To introduce ourselves to begin a conversation on the phone. Hello, this is David, can I speak to Sally? 3. To introduce people. Example: this is Janet. These are my friends, John and Michael. Warning: we don't say, these are John and Michael, we say, this is John and this is Michael. We use that, singular, and those, plural 1, to talk about things that are not near us. Examples: what is that? This is our house and that's Rebecca's house over there. Those are very expensive shoes. 2. We also use that to refer back to something someone said or did. Examples: shall we go to the cinema? Yes, that's a good idea. I've got a new job. That's great. I'm very tired. Why's that? G. Interrogative pronouns. They introduce questions. They include who, whom, which and what. Example: who will be making a speech tonight? Thank you for watching, kindly subscribe for more grammar tips and lessons, good luck and keep practicing.